Okay, I'm going to be cleaning some Elecampane seed, also known as Inula helenium, or helenium, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. And it's a complex process, it's a two-part process. I've got this seed that looks like it was partially cleaned I got from companion plants, and I'd like to show you how I've learned how to clean it. The first step in cleaning this is using this machine right here, which is a clipper, and I use two different sets of screen combinations. The first set is going to be, the bottom screen is a 40 by 40, and the top screen is a 16 round. If you're not using one of these, you can use whatever seed cleaning machine you're using and adjust accordingly. Bottom screen goes in. When I turn this on, and it's going to be loud, I'll just show you. When I turn it on, this screen doesn't shake back and forth like it would if those erasers weren't in there. Okay? So now the second screen is the 16 round. That's going to be our top screen. And that will also shake like crazy if I don't have a way of holding it in there on this machine. So I use that little thing right there just to hold it. Slide this underneath. And hook this on here so that the spring is holding this tight against this. So when it's shaking, that's not breaking off. For the fan speed on this, I need to have it on the middle position, and I need to close the vents most of the way. So these vents are, usually I'll close them, when it says most of the way on my directions, and then I close it about that much. And I have the same vents on this side, you don't have to show this side. The same vents on this side, basically. And this has a fan speed belt right here, which is already set on. I have 3 speeds I can use on it. And the middle position here, this middle one and this middle one here, are the one I need to use. Now this is for mostly unclean seed, and this seed is somewhat clean, so I'm not sure how important this first process is, but since some of the people watching this video want to know how to clean the seed from scratch, this is really how you would start with your unclean seed. I have about 3 ounces of seed, so this will go fairly quickly. So I turn the machine on, and then I put in, I'll make sure everything's together here, which it isn't. This catches the chaff that comes off of here. And this catches some of the intermediate weight seed. This catches the very light chaff that blows up through here. And this catches what's usually considered the waste. Okay, so I'm going to take the seed, and I'm going to, you can show the seed, mostly what you're looking at, there's a lot of stems here and a lot of seed. This is actually fairly clean, and I'm not sure this first process is even necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway just to show you. A lot of seed in here, but a lot of stems. So I don't think this process is going to do us much good, but it's, like on this particular seed, because it's relatively clean, but it's just important to see that this gets a few stems, and a few of the stems are coming all the way down here, the real long stems. That's the second screen right there, and most of it's coming. We've got primarily falling down at the bottom is this tray of I'd say 95% of what came through that all came down in here. Now we still have stems like this, and we have a lot of these little things like the end of my finger, which are not seeds. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is take the seed that's in this tray, dump it in here, just so I have something to pour the seed into the machine again with. Put this back in here for catching seed, which it will catch some seed. However, this is part of the operation that's quite complex, because you don't normally clean seed this way. My bottom screen is going to be this 122 by 1/2 inch slotted screen. And what's going to happen with this is this screen is going to catch the seed. This is the perfect size for actually catching the seed. And then I will take the clean seed from this off and put it in a container, essentially. Now this one goes in tight, so I don't have to put the erasers behind it. Usually they don't, though. And then the top screen is a 10 triangle, and the triangle has an advantage of it tends to let more chaff go out. At this point, what I'm going to do, it says to take big handfuls of unclean seed, drop poundfuls under the center of the top screen, and rub the unclean seed back and forth around with only petals and chaff on the top screen. And when the handful has been processed, shut off the cleaner and take the bottom screen out and carefully extract the good seed from this screen, because that's where it's going to get stuck, right in that bottom screen. Then I'm going to clean out the metal clean-out slot after each handful as it fills quickly with petals and fluff. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to turn it on, put a handful, and rub it. And if you come over here, Carol, you see a lot of this stem stuff is just coming right out the side. The top screen is cleared, even if this isn't empty, I shut it off and look and see if my bottom screen actually caught the seed like I expect it to. And it has, for the most part. Not as good as I've usually seen. So this, I'm going to run this, I'm going to take this good seed, and I'm going to call most of this good seed. It isn't all good seed, but it catches in there. Actually, I get quite a bit. It's better than I thought. And if you look at that, I'll get that in the light a little better for you. There's still a few stems in there because it caught on the screen, but most of that is seed now. I may run that through a second time just so that I can get some more. I got a lot of seed that came out this bottom screen, which is okay because I can reprocess this. Yeah, come on over, I want to show. There's a lot of seed that came through. There's a lot of stems too, but mostly seed. So I'm going to reprocess this, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but let's go ahead and run this again. The most important part of this process right now is getting these long sticks off of here. I call them sticks. They're part of the flower, I'm sure, but they're not seeds. The seeds are actually falling through this screen. I'll probably run this through a second time. I didn't need to rub this so much because they're pretty well separated already. By the time the seed gets to anywhere about here, or I should say the seed mass, all the seed is falling through here, and this stuff coming off here is primarily stems, or seed, non-seed parts, I guess is what they call them. Now let's take a look at this screen again. I let a little more go through this time. Now show right here, I want to show this bar right here. Everything in here is good seed, okay? Everything that's stuck in there is good seed. The stuff up at the top has a few stems in it, so I'm going to run it a little bit longer here. See if I can get some more stems to come out. And I can actually blow some of the stem material right through it.
Can you do that again? I didn't quite get that.
Yeah, I'm just blowing some of the stem material that's stuck right here across the screen. Now if you look at this, you see that just completely filled with good seed. Okay, those are all good seeds. So when I take the screen out, I want to do it carefully so that I don't knock any seeds out of there. And then I will dump it carefully inside there. Now, that's pretty good seed. Okay, that's really good seed. There's still a few stem parts in there, but we got at least 90% of them out of there, if not more. Now, at this point, there's other seed parts here that came through. There's not much there, so that was just a very light chaff. There was almost nothing. In the middle container, almost nothing, and really almost nothing. What fell through the screen, however, was came through here mostly, which looks like a lot of good seed. So I'm gonna reprocess this seed using a different screen combination. And what came down to the bottom, there's not much came to the bottom, but there's a lot of seeds and a lot of stems. So I'm going to reprocess this as well. Okay. So this is going to be the final process. This is going to be, I said it was a 2-stage, but actually for this set of seeds it's a 3-stage process. I'm going to run it a little bit longer to get the seeds that comes down through the bottom screen into here to all come back through here. Okay, so if I just threw this away, I'd be wasting a lot of seed. So I want to reprocess this using a different screen combination. This time what I'm going to use is my top screen is going to be the same. It's going to be the triangle. But the bottom screen is going to be the 40 by 40 again. Okay, so the 40 by 40 is a very fine screen that doesn't let hardly anything go through it. Okay, and the top screen is going to be the triangle again. And okay, put this in here. And if you're having problems with more stems still, you can run it over this screen several times, and each time you'll get more of these stemmy. Yeah, you can't see that, but anyway, the things that are stems instead of the seeds. Okay, so I'm going to run this through like this, and let's see what we get. Nice to have all the seed cleaner parts in place when you start. We're getting more stems off of this right here, which is good. And I know seeds falling through because I can see it coming out over here. You come over here, Carol. I think this will show a little better what we're doing here. You can show this area and this area. After I dump it on here, these long things that aren't seeds fall in here, and mostly good seed comes through here and goes down through there. Seed material that's not seed, and the good seed has gone down to the bottom, and nothing came out over here because we had that very thin bottom screen. And again, let's look at this and you'll see there's still some stems in there. Okay, and the stems are these two things at the end of my finger, like right here, here, here. Those are still little stemmy parts, and there's plenty of seed in there. There's definitely a high percentage of seed, but it's still too much stem, so I'm going to run that over the triangle again. Dump it in there. We'll look at the other parts to see what we got. Again, that's just mostly fluff with very little seed, if any. I'll dump that in the trash. And we got a little bit more fluff there. Chaff. Alright, so I'm going to run it again and show it right here again, Carol. Come over here, and we're going to show them again that we're still going to get more of these long stem things coming. Not as many, you see? Each time we get fewer and fewer. It's the joy of the triangle screen. So I basically do this process until I don't get hardly anything coming out of this. Okay? And it might take 10 times, but usually it takes 4 or 5. And none of what's coming out of here is seed. That's all seed head parts. And this is going to be my last run through. I'm sure I've gotten about 95% of the little stems off. And I'm going to run it through a little slower this time so I'm not losing any seed. I'm getting very few stems now. If I go fast, I lose a little bit of seed, so this is good. So depending on how persnickety you are, I could probably run this several more times, but I've got a huge percentage of the seed stuff off. So let's show people what's left. Okay. Well, and this is what I'm calling the good seed now. If you look through here, you see almost no stems anymore, and this is primarily seed. So we're at a good point with this being just seed now. Okay. Now what's left in the other parts of the machine? This is basically chaff. Well, it might have some seed in there, but this is mostly lighter seed, lighter chaff. The stuff at the top is always lighter stuff. There's usually less and less each time you run it because it doesn't make it up there. And then the stuff in the box over here, which is the thing that we're primarily trying to get out. These are the stems, okay, that some people might have thought were seeds, but they really aren't seeds. There's no seeds in here at all. This is all long stem pieces, or if there's seeds in here, it's less than 1% certainly. So that's what we have, and we worked with. I didn't weigh it, but we had 3 ounces of seed mass initially, and we probably got. I'm just looking at it and guessing, but we probably got 2 ounces of seed out of the total conglomerate of 3 ounces, and that's the chaff, and this is chaff. So I hope that's helpful.